While Jim was in Prague, that was the first week when we really got the strike going. I remember yesterday I let my students go home a little bit earlier from the class because I told them, you know, this 17th of November we have a celebration, we have like a national holiday, so we're not working at all, and we're working in America so much either. They say, what kind of a holiday is it? I said, well, we have, you know, this International Students' Day, and, you know, we had the Velvet Revolution, and I was a strike leader. Actually, I learned the day before that I got from the university officials some commemoration medal for that. It's kind of funny. But they said, what did you do? I said, well, we canceled the classes at that time, and we occupied the university building, and we didn't go to school for 2 months. Had happenings all over the city. And they looked at me and said, you got a medal for that? And I said, yeah, that was the time when you get a medal for not going to school. But that was what we were doing. I mean, that was what we were doing. What was amazing, and I think that this is the feeling I remember. I do not remember some of the times of the meetings. Jim was talking about the Olo thing. You know, when we were facing the communist officials, the university officials who were all members of the Communist Party, dragging the meeting forever until some students would stand up and support the students. And I understand today, maybe more than I understood then, how difficult it was for them to actually go up front and face their colleagues, their administration, and put everything, all their careers, all their families in danger. I was talking to Professor Jajab, that was mentioned here, who became director at one of the meetings, and I said, you know, I really appreciate what you have done, because it must have been very hard. He says, no, Libor, it was not that hard. It was you were risking much more, because you were young and you had all lives in front of you. I mean, we were not risking just the rest of our lives. I think that he was really downplaying it, because they had families, they had their own children. And we knew very well, many of us, what the communist government could do with the children of the persona non gratas. But some of the parts I do not remember, and I get it reported from my colleagues, my friends, the people who were in the audience rather than up at the podium. But I do remember the feeling of an extreme pride of my own nation, which I have never had before. In the first two weeks of the revolution, when everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people would just come and support the striking students. We never believed that that could happen. We said we needed money because we needed to buy paper for the posters, for the leaflets, bulletins, and whatever we were publishing. Within several days, we managed to raise several million Czech crowns. We were getting food from people. We were getting kolaches, you know, a lot of kolaches from old ladies who would come and feed us, because, as I said, cafeteria was closed, so we closed everything. So these old ladies would come and say, no, you need to eat something, so we're going to cook for you, because these, you know, these female students cannot cook. We all cook. Grandmas were cooking for us. And we never ate so well before and after either, I think, you know, when these old ladies were cooking for us. When we had time to get something to eat. So, but they were very nice, but very insistent, you know, on us eating properly, you know, morning, afternoon, evening. So this is what was happening. And then also we put together, you know, a lot of typewriters, and my friends, colleagues, co-students, they were working 24 hours a day, virtually 24 hours a day, typing away, copying. There were no Xerox machines. At that time, I think that the first Xerox machine we saw sometime at the end of November, we never knew that such a thing existed, was smuggled to Czechoslovakia from Austria, and it was donated by Prince Schwarzenberg, who is now, was a Minister of Foreign Affairs. Now he's the leader of one of the major parties. He was living in Austria then in exile. So until then, we were just typing things away, printing on a very old devices that probably I would not recognize now. They would be in the museums. This was the printing shop. These guys were amazing too. I mean, they were working 24 hours a day, destroying everything, because everything was blackened after a while. There was ink everywhere. and they could be recognized because they were all dirty in their faces, in their clothes, everything they touched was painted with black ink. But we loved them because they not only they were printing things, but they were thinking of slogans, they were making them up, they were writing. Sometimes they got too wild, so we had to restrain them. Because, and that was important, the publicity for the strike. Because what we really wanted, we wanted to be different from our government. We wanted to be different from those people who would retort to violence, who would use violence as an argument. We wanted to be peaceful, we wanted to be gentle, we wanted to be friendly, we wanted to be funny. And then you have to watch it, because knowing that people that do get carried away. And we didn't want to put anybody in danger, not anybody, we didn't want to threaten anybody. Today I think that we should have threatened a few people, but at that time we just wanted to be nice and we wanted to have a velvet revolution, and we did have it, and these people very much contributed to that. We also had people with some artistic aspirations. They were drawing posters all over. You saw one of those on the boards all around the city. We had posters because the information, the disseminating information was very important. The first week, the first several weeks, the media was still in the hands of the government. The newspaper was reporting something completely different that was happening in the streets. The television was in the hands of the government too. So the only source of information were the students. I mean, we were just distributing materials all across the country from the centers where the universities were. So we would go to our own hometowns. I remember how I was kicked out of my school by my favorite English teacher. I mean, she was the one who made me love English, love literature, but she was also the member of the Communist Party. So when I came to my high school and wanted to talk to the students and give the materials to some of the teachers, she just hissed in my face, "Get out of here and never, ever come close to me. I hate you and you're a disgrace and disappointment, the biggest of my life." And that was sad, but I mean, we were meeting these things. I mean, this was a teacher. A lot of people had these hard times even in their families, because you had students who were striking and you had parents. Many of them were members of the Communist parties. Some of them were just fake members, but some of the people really believed in the communist ideology, and they were all of a sudden in ideological clash with their own children. And also it happened to me when I was going to my own town that I just wanted to distribute some of the materials to people, the town people. I got off the train and I told them I'm coming, and that I thought that the people will come and pick up the materials, and I will go back to Olomouc where all the fun was happening. They say, "Oh no, it's good you're here. Come on, everybody's waiting for you." I was, "Who's everybody's waiting for me?" I said, come to the main square." I got to the main square. They put me up front, and the whole square was full of people. They were waiting for me. Somebody told them, "There's a student from Olomouc coming to speak to you about what's going on in the world." And I was like, I just have these posters to do. I didn't want to speak. And there I was in cold. It was all November, having my former teachers, the mayor of the city, my friends. There was really hundreds, maybe thousands of people. And I had to tell them what's going on. They didn't know.